Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. As per usual, I will be updating you all on some of the big movers like NEM, IOTA, and Litecoin, as well as my normal schedule of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omise, and Lisk. Thank you all for the feedback. Over the past couple days, I've decided that I'm going to be adding Cardano to these daily crypto updates, so you should be expecting that by tomorrow, and I won't be removing any of the other cryptocurrencies. So that's how I'm going to go moving forward, and I hope that is convenient for all of you. Other than that, I'm going to go over my technical analysis as per usual in just a second. If you haven't bought cryptocurrencies yet, go check out Coinbase. I'll have a referral link in the description where you can get $10 free worth of Bitcoin when you sign up. And let's go ahead and start with the general market / altcoin update. Pretty much what we can see today is a major altcoin bounce across the altcoin market. This is because Bitcoin finally started dropping after, as we can see on the chart, it really had very little downside movement over the past couple weeks, and just recently barely any downside movement at all. So it was bound to happen, and we're now finally seeing what looks like the beginning of a pullback. So the money left Bitcoin and went into some of the altcoins. That obviously spiked up the prices, and then from there people also bought the breakout pretty much. So we can see major movers today like IOTA up above $5. That's a pretty major move right there. And Litecoin at $140, up about 45%. Absolutely amazing move. Congratulations to all the Litecoin holders out there. I felt like this move has been long awaited for Litecoin, and it finally got its big breakout. Of course, it already rose quite a bit over the past week or two, but it finally got its big boost that I think it really needed to get. And NEM, a little bit of a sleeper here, but got a nice jump as well, up 138%. Wasn't really doing much for a while, kind of fell out of the top 10 ranking, and it's back in, so it's above 50 cents now. Pretty massive move for NEM as well. And otherwise, like I said, you can see a lot of big movers today across the altcoin market, anywhere between a 10 to 20% increase for most of them. So it's really good to see the altcoins bounce. They've definitely been seeing a little bit of shakiness. Litecoin, for example, just yesterday, it wasn't looking great, right? It was looking like it might see a little bit of a pullback, and it bounced kind of at the last minute since Bitcoin started falling. And then, the rest is history. But like I said, Bitcoin is dropping down about 7% here over the past 24 hours. Let's get right into the chart to see what's happening. As far as the indicators go, the MACD still hasn't been pulling down much, but we can expect that, over the next couple days. We started to see a little bit of a peak here on the histogram, and we are kicking back down on the RSI. We'll see if we're going to find some support as we move lower, but at this point, it seems pretty likely that we're going to get a test of the 70 line. As far as the price action goes, we, of course, put in our double top yesterday, which was the first signal of a little bit of bearish momentum. And from there, what happened was we actually got a pretty massive drop all the way back down to our initial support level over here at $13,670. That got bought up really strongly, and now we are moving lower, right, putting in a lower low and lower high. So I do think that we are back, as you can see, in the Bollinger Band range, which is kind of what I expected to happen. From here, I think that, of course, it could be a little bit of consolidation and we can move higher. That's always possible. But at this point, I think it only makes sense after the massive increase that I have that people will sell off Bitcoin, and that we're going to come and at least test the support level over here back at $13,670, which would be in line with the uptrend line, right? This is our current uptrend line to pay attention to. That's kind of where I see a bounce happening. We'll see how all that plays out. And moving forward, could we see a bigger drop than that? That's definitely possible. It has gone up, a massive amount without much of a pullback. So if we break below this $13,670 mark, we could definitely move even lower, right? Back down to this support level over here, which would be quite a bit lower, down to 11,425. But first, we really have to see how it acts when we get to this first support. If we're going to see a strong bounce off that, we don't know yet, but that's the first level that we can expect the price to move towards. And sometimes when I see these, kind of spike drops or spike increases in the price, I feel like it kind of foreshadows what's about to happen, right? So in this case, we saw the big drop that got bought up, and now it's slowly gonna trickle back down to that level. So that's kind of what I see happening here for Bitcoin. It had a great run, but it seems like it'll need to take a breather now. Ethereum yesterday was actually looking decent, and we could see the first sign of a bounce. It was holding the uptrend line, got a nice little doji candlestick here, which was really the main signal for the reversal, and it pretty much acted very strongly from there. We moved back up with the candlestick and broke above the previous high over here, putting in now a higher high and higher low, coming to the higher end of this channel right over here. So our support level is at this uptrend line over here, and our resistance is the channel, the upper part of this channel, so our previous uptrend line, which is acting as resistance, right? I think we can, depends how much strength we have, we could maybe break through this, in the next couple of days if we do have enough strength. Otherwise, we'll just trade along the channel and move higher. But I do think that we're going to go back above 500 for Ethereum. We can see a nice hook over on the MACD. Hopefully, we can really cross above the orange line, and the histogram coming back nicely, which will hopefully, go back into the positive area. Nice bounce off the uptrend line on the RSI and moving back towards the 70 line. So like I said, I think it obviously has quite a bit of resistance here. That's where it's kind of topping for right now. Let me just go ahead and throw that in. At this, $483 mark, there's quite a bit of resistance just because of the previous candlesticks. I think that shouldn't be too much of a problem, and we will be able to break through that pretty shortly and then really get back above 500 and hopefully get a nice breakout. Like Litecoin did, it may not be as strong, but we should see something kind of like what happened to Litecoin. Talking about Litecoin, let's get right into what's happening with good old Litecoin. And basically what we can see is that it ended up bouncing on the uptrend line. Like I said, just last night when I made my daily crypto update, it was actually kind of struggling. As you can see, it dipped a little bit below that. And as far as the MACD was looking, we were about to cross over, right? So we basically bounced off the orange line, got a big breakout here on the histogram, broke out of the downtrend, and same thing really, broke out of any kind of resistance on the RSI. We're now all the way up to 84. And of course, putting in higher highs, higher lows, massive green candlesticks. We were just at around $98 and now we're all the way up to $146. So massive increase. Now, will this hold? It depends. It's obviously a very big move, and we're trading pretty high outside the Bollinger Bands, so we could definitely see a bit of a pullback here. We put in a high of $149.34. That's a pretty logical level from, breaking above $100 to go at. And to be honest, I kind of expected Litecoin the first time that it broke above $100 here. Well, it was really the second time, right? But when it broke back above $100, I was expecting a big move like this, and that didn't happen right away, right? But we finally got that as Bitcoin started falling, the money poured into altcoins like Litecoin. So I think that maybe we will already see a little bit of a pullback. It really depends here how much strength we're going to have for Litecoin. It could probably go a bit higher and move towards $200, maybe towards $170, something like this. But we will need to see a little bit of a pullback just to be back in the Bollinger Bands, right? Like we had over here. You have to get back into the Bollinger Bands, especially when you're trading this high above them. So that's something that could be seen pretty soon, but I don't want to kill the hype. It's definitely an amazing move, and this is pretty much a game changer for Litecoin that it was able to show this strength. We're now going to probably stay above $100, really trade above that, and this is a whole new range for Litecoin, right? We can expect it to slowly but surely go to $200, $300. You need to watch my Litecoin analysis for 2018, but I'm very bullish on Litecoin, and this is exactly what we needed to see for Litecoin to potentially hit something like $500 by the end of 2018. If you want to see that video, I'll leave a link in the description and in the comment section below. But yeah, it's looking good here, guys. And let's go over to Ripple now. See what's been going on with Ripple. Hopefully getting a nice bounce as well. So Ripple up a bit. Actually got a pretty nice bounce, and we're back above the middle band, which is good, back above the uptrend line. Getting a nice hook back over on the MACD, right, kind of like we had over here. I like these big overextended MACD hooks. Pulling back to the upside on the histogram, got a nice little bottom there, and really bouncing back on the RSI. So looking pretty good here. Could definitely move higher in the next couple days. There's room to move higher. You can see where the upper Bollinger Band is trading. So we'll have to break through the 25-cent resistance level, which is been a little bit of a tricky one, but hopefully we can get above that, and that would put it in the higher range, right, back towards 28 cents, which would be a good level for Ripple to be at, and we could definitely see that happen, right, especially with what's going on with the MACD, the fact that we're back trading above the uptrend line. Those are all very good signs, and it should benefit from the altcoin bounce that we're seeing right now. This could definitely last, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This could go on for a while now that we can really see some regained bullish momentum. in the altcoin market, you know, they weren't doing bad per se. They were definitely acting a bit shaky and consolidating, not really getting that strong bullish momentum, and we finally started to see that right after a while. So as far as NEO goes, up a bit now, and starting to look like it's going to retest the orange line. It struggled with that not long ago, so we'll see if we're able to cross over this time around. Pretty much the same thing as far as the histogram goes. Back above the 50 line on the RSI, which is good, and we're currently attempting to break above and hold above the downtrend line right over here. So that'll be really good if we manage to do that. There's also the middle band, the brown line at $36. That's facing, you know, that's acting as resistance. That's also kind of putting downward pressure on the price. So hopefully it'll be able to move above those two things. And at that point, it'll really be pretty easy, hopefully, to move back into this $43 area where, you know, that's our kind of our previous highs here as far as short-term stuff goes. And yeah, I think that can definitely happen over the next couple days. Let's go over to Vertcoin now and see what's happening. So Vertcoin is bouncing nicely off, you know, it bounced off the middle band, right? And we're just basically seeing a kind of a continuation of that rebound. So starting to bounce back up on the MACD, didn't get any kind of crossover, which is good. Starting to bounce a little bit on the histogram as well, and of course we're bouncing on the RSI. We're going to see if we can break that $9.39 resistance level. That's kind of one of the big resistance levels before we get back to the all-time highs. So we'll see if that can happen the next couple days. If we break above it, I'll say that we do have a pretty good chance of getting, you know, relatively quickly back to that $12 area. So that'll definitely be a pretty nice move here for Vertcoin if that can happen. Could it move higher and then pull back? Yes, that's definitely possible, right? We didn't actually get a move that held above this $9 and, you know, 40 cent mark. So that, I think we'll see this happen this time around, and that'll be a first. But when that happens, you can sometimes expect a pullback back to that level. Overall, though, it'll be good to see it move into that upper range and really hold above that. I definitely think that can happen, like I said, within the next couple days, right? Let's go over to Monero, see what's happening. This has been one of the altcoins that's been acting more strongly and looks like it's continuing with the strength here. Bounced back above the uptrend line. This is a short-term uptrend line. That's a pretty sharp uptrend line, so it is kind of hard to stay above that. It actually managed to kind of do that right now, and we'll just see what happens, right? Hopefully, let me actually adjust this. This is more accurate as of right now, so we'll see if it manages to hold this more short-term uptrend line. Other than that, you know, we can see that, let me draw this for you guys, but we have somewhat of a symmetrical triangle here forming for Monero, and to be honest, what's most likely here, seeing the strength in the altcoin market, is that we break to the upside. But once we do that, once we break above this downtrend line right over here, we can expect, you know, really a true confirmation that we're going to move higher, and probably in Monero's case, right, back towards that $300 mark, which it already broke above. So that's going to be the next level that we're going to be paying attention to for Monero. Went back above the 80 line, which is some added strength, and MACD still looking very strong. Histogram as well. So really, Monero has been one of the stronger altcoins now for quite a while. And let's go over to Omise, see what's happening with that one. So Omise getting a nice bounce here, back above the middle band. That's good to see. The middle band is currently sitting at $8.60. We're still trading above under our channel. Hopefully we can get back into that in the next couple of days, and you know, we can see some signs of that, like the MACD that looks like it's going to come back over. Same thing on the RSI. Hopefully that's going to re-enter the channel, and at least now we have a little bit more room to move up. We can probably pretty easily break through this uptrend line, which is currently the resistance level, and then also the resistance at $9.80, right? That would put us back into this upper range near $10, which is really what we want to see right now for Omise. And let's go over to our final crypto of the daily crypto update, which is Lisk. Now, let's see what's been going on with Lisk. Getting a pretty nice bounce here back above the middle band. We can see that we still have some weakness as far as the Bollinger Bands go, and as well as the middle band. Overall, though, it's not really anything to worry about. We can see now that we tested one time the MACD crossover, and that failed the first time around. It's more likely that the second time we actually managed to really hold that move above the orange line, and we have a nice histogram uptrend in the making here. so that should hold over the next couple of days, and we should really see a positive crossover. RSI bouncing back above the 50 line, and I just kind of expect Lisk to get back above this $8.61 level, hopefully climb back up to that $9.70 mark. It does have quite a bit of resistance there. I should go ahead and put in a resistance line, but overall, it should really be a positive thing for Lisk to finally get back into that upper range over here near $9.30. This is the end of the daily crypto update, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.